On the 2nd of July, 1937, the most famous female pilot in history took off over the Pacific Ocean. Her last radio transmission was received at 8:43 a.m. Then silenced. No wreckage was ever found. No body was ever recovered. And 88 years later, nobody knows what really happened. Welcome. Today, we are uncovering the full story of Amelia Earhart, the woman who conquered the skies and then vanished without a trace. Born in 1897 in Atchison, Kansas, Amelia Earhart was not supposed to become a legend. Women in the early 1900s were not expected to fly planes. They were not expected to break records. They were not expected to circle the globe. Amelia did all three. In 1928, she became the first woman to cross the Atlantic Ocean by air as a passenger. But that was not enough for her. 4 years later, in 1932, she flew across the Atlantic solo, completely alone, becoming the first woman and only the second person in history to do so. She was fearless. She was determined. And by 1937, she had set her sights on the ultimate challenge, flying around the entire world. On the 1st of June, 1937, Amelia Earhart and her navigator, Fred Noonan, departed Miami, Florida, in a twin-engine Lockheed Electra aircraft. Their route would take them 2,900 miles around the equator, the longest and most dangerous route ever attempted. For 29 days, they flew through South America, across Africa, over India, and Southeast Asia. They were doing it. The world watched in amazement. By the 2nd of July, they had completed 22,000 miles of the journey. Only 7,000 miles remained. Their next destination was a tiny speck in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, Howland Island, just 2 miles long and 1 mile wide. Finding it would require perfect navigation and perfect radio communication. A United States Coast Guard ship called the Itasca was stationed near Howland Island, waiting to guide Earhart and Noonan in by radio. At 7:42 a.m., Earhart's voice came through. She reported clouds and poor visibility. She asked for a bearing, a radio direction to guide her toward the island. The Itasca responded, but Earhart could not hear them clearly. Her radio signals were strong, meaning she was close, but she could not locate the ship or the island. At 8:43 a.m. came her final transmission. Her voice was described as frantic. She reported her position and said they were running low on fuel and flying north to south. And then nothing. The radio went silent. Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan were never heard from again. The United States government launched the largest and most expensive search in naval history at that time. 9 ships and 66 aircraft searched over 250,000 square miles of ocean for 17 days. They found nothing. Not the plane, not the life raft, not a single piece of debris. Nothing. President Franklin D. Roosevelt personally authorized additional search efforts. Still, nothing. On the 5th of January 1939, Amelia Earhart was officially declared dead. But here is where the story gets truly fascinating, because not everyone believed she simply crashed into the ocean. Theory 1. She crashed and sank. The most widely accepted explanation. The Pacific is deep and vast. The wreckage may simply have sunk beyond recovery. Theory 2. She landed on a remote island and survived as a castaway. An organization called TIHAR, the International Group for Historic Aircraft Recovery, has spent decades investigating the island of Nikumaroro, about 400 miles from Howland Island. They have found human bones, pieces of 1930s American women's shoes, and signs of a campfire. DNA testing of the bones proved inconclusive, but their research continues. Theory 3, she was captured by the Japanese military. Some historians believe she accidentally flew over Japanese-controlled islands and was captured as a spy. This theory has never been proven, but was popular for decades. Theory 4. She survived and lived under a different identity. A small number of researchers claim she returned to the United States in secret and lived quietly under a new name until Iten Jobai Art. This theory has been largely dismissed, but continues to circulate online. In 2023, a deep-sea exploration team used advanced sonar technology to scan the ocean floor near Howland Island. They identified an object that could be consistent with a Lockheed Electra aircraft. Further investigation is still ongoing. Amelia Earhart took off on July 2nd, 1937, and was never seen again. She was 39 years old. She had broken barriers that nobody thought could be broken. She had flown routes nobody believed were possible. And then she flew into the unknown and never came back. Was it simply a tragic accident? Is she still lying at the bottom of the Pacific? Or did she survive against all odds? What do you believe happened to Amelia Earhart? Tell us in the comments. And subscribe for a new mystery every single week.